Is the deal? What is the deal? What is the deal? On this video, we're gonna keep it pretty brief tonight. I've been getting an overwhelming amount of people that have been really confused, man, about how they've been putting up deals, and some of them doing it on first and second pencil, and are still getting told, when they get their washout sheets or whatnot, that they're making mini deals on first and second pencil. So I want to give it a little bit of time to let some people get in here and see if we can get a good conversation going out here. Because I don't. Let me know. I see we got some people coming in. Make sure I got the chat on because I want to know how many people are out there getting deals and first and second pencil and still being told by management that they made a mini on the deal. Man, I was blown back. I didn't realize how many people have been struggling with this at their store. Who we got in the house as you come on in? Let me know who you in here while we're kicking it together on this Friday evening. And also, if you done been through that, you ever had a deal at your store and you closed it on the first or second pencil and just knew you had some money on there, and then next thing you know, when you get your washout sheet and you find out that they gave you $100 on it, and you like, man, how in the world when we sold this thing, it was MSRP, we only dropped it, $1,000, $500, but yet I'm only getting a mini on this thing. That's crazy. So who we got on here? Who we got? So on this video, I'm just going to talk real brief about what we can do to kind of minimize us getting those mini deals. We got some more people in. What's up, Martin? How you doing, man? Let us know who you are, because what we're talking about right now is, people that have been doing deals, getting customers to close on first and second pencil, and then they find out from management when it's time to get paid that they getting paid a mini on the deal. And one dealer group I won't say in particular, they come to find out that their salespeople was getting railroaded real bad. They were charging them like $699 for car washes and other type of things that was crazy. So when these folks was getting their washout sheets, it was showing that they were making minis on these deals, but they were closing first and second pencil. What's up, Brandon? Out there, Queens Volvo in New York. We got Martin Cadillac of LA. We got Damien. What's up, man? The Real Takers. That's really what the screen name is. Have any of you ever had a deal where you made some money on it? You got the customer to close first and second pencil, but then when you got your washout sheet, you find out that you got paid a mini on it. And then when you go try to ask a question about it, they kind of tell you, hey, don't worry about it. I'll go sell some more cars, or give you all this bull crap or what happened and how they had to discount it behind the scenes or anything like that. That ever happened to any of y'all? Or have you heard of it happening? Damien from Orlando. What's up? Daniel from Orlando. What's up, Daniel? Thanks for tuning in. So we got LA in the house, New York in the house, Orlando in the house. But what I want to talk about in this video, I want to cover 3 different ways that you can, so you've seen it. We got somebody on there. We got Real Lakers, excuse me, from my man from LA that said that he definitely has seen that. And I've been getting an overwhelming amount of people that's been saying that. And like I was saying, one dealer group, they had people that was knocking down deals, first pencil, and they just knew they had money on it. And next thing you know, they would find out that they was getting minis. And so what they did, they started requesting back-end documentation. The dealership refused to give them the back-end documentation. And one of the guys just so happened to really have the resources to be able to get a lawyer. They found out that out of the 21 people that actually went after this thing, they owed each one of them an average of $75,000 in back commissions from over the years. Because these people was getting customers to sign up first pencil, second pencil, and then was being told that they was getting paid minis. So what the store was doing was overcharging them on all types of back end stuff, and was screwing them over. So we're gonna talk about what we can do to protect ourselves from those mini deals. Okay, so there's 3 different things that we can do to kind of protect ourselves. And first thing, if any of you were signed up for the webinar, the 3 ways to use social media to sell cars, I apologize. We had my hard drive crashed out that day, and unfortunately for me, I didn't have it stored to a cloud. So right now, my team and I are putting it together. I actually got some folks that are working on it, and we coming back out strong. Just gotta redo it. But we're gonna talk about 3 ways that you can minimize getting those mini deals and really kind of hedge your bets. Number 1, you all are probably doing this, but I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't at least state it. And that's educating your customer. And when I say educating, what I mean is this. A lot of times, the reason why people get the bucket on the price, if you really think about it, is because, we may sit them down and we may be exceptional at talking to people and building rapport, but when we're going out to present the vehicle, a lot of sales reps I've seen do what I call the 3-minute walk around. First off, meaning they walk out to it and they may say, yeah, this is red, it's got leather seats, real nice alloy rims, 5.7 liter, blah, blah. Here, why don't you step on in? And that's pretty much it for the presentation. And then they say, do you want to go on a test drive or a demo drive? Now, we got to think about it for a second. The only thing that this person is looking at up to this point is just the price. And so when we're taking them out there to look at this vehicle, this is really our chance to educate them, not so much on the technical aspects of that vehicle, but on how specific technical aspects or safety aspects or eco aspects are customized and suited for their issue. See, so when we sitting down and we're talking to people, and we're just keeping it, hey, how much you want to pay? And we ask a silly question like what color, which should never be asked. And every question we ask is only about that car. What color, how much you want to pay, how much you looking to put down, are you ready to buy today? All questions that really will cause you more resistance than they will benefit you, but the automotive industry is one of the slowest to adapt their processes and develop. The people that are really winning and really holding money, holding growth, closing deals, and having people hug them as they walking out for making a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 purchase are really the people that talk this much about the vehicle, but they speak or allow the person to speak this much about themselves. I mean, when you sit down with somebody and you say, hey, listen, first things first, do you mind if I take some notes? Because I want to make sure I get everything that you and I speak about accurate as possible. What they going to say? No. They're going to say, yeah. So right there, we're getting the yes right off the top, okay? You have to learn that throughout the process, if you can get them to say yes 21 times, the likelihood of them agreeing and be willing to buy with you at the end go up drastically. Remember, sales is psychological. It is really systematic. And so we start off with our initial yes by just asking, hey, do you mind if I take some notes? I just want to make sure that I get everything that you share with me as accurate as possible. They're going to say, yeah, of course, go ahead. Now, are you looking for something for business or personal use? Now, with this being a lead-off question, look at where this question can go. When you start off, hey, first of all, do you mind if I take some notes? We're going to get them to say yes. That's the first yes. Then the next question, are you looking for something for business or personal use? If they say it's for business, guess what? The next lead question is, really, what type of work do you do? How long you been doing that? Man, is that something you kind of dreamed about as a kid, or did you get off into that as an adult? Oh, wow, man, I really do look up to guys like you or whatever it is you're talking about. So if they say business, you can go right into asking them questions about the business. But if they say personal, yeah, I'm looking for something for personal use. Okay, great. So it's going to be a daily driver? Yeah, it's going to be a daily driver. Okay, to and from work? Yeah, to and from work. Excellent. Well, what type of work do you do? So as you can see, when you lead off with asking, are you looking for something for business or personal use? It doesn't matter which answer they give. Both of them you can go into excellent directions of asking them. And when they tell you what type of work they do, dig a little bit. Man, how long have you been doing that? Now, yes, that's showing interest in the person, but guess what else is doing? It's giving us a gauge of how long they may have been on their job. Now, is this something that you thought about as a kid, or did you go to school for this? Listen, man, I went to school for it. Really, what's your alma mater? Blah, blah. Just building with them. And then an excellent question to find out if they're by themselves or if they're with someone else. So how big is your family? As opposed to, hey, is anybody else needed? Or is there another decision maker? No. How big is your family? They'll say, oh, it's just me. Or, oh, my wife, my kids. And here's why I say, how big is your family? When we say, are you married? Well, what if the person isn't married? What if they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend? Or what if it's neither or? What if there's a cousin that lives there that helps them pay the bills and they're going to be sharing this vehicle? See, family is far more than just husband, wife, kids. Family is far more than just blood. And there are a lot of people who consider different folks family. So how big is your family? Oh, this, that, and the other. Okay, yeah, my wife, my kids. Really? How long you been married, man? This, that, and the other. Awesome. You guys have kids, huh? What's their ages? This, that, and the other. Now, it's seeming again like I'm expressing interest, which I am. But I'm also building a profile, okay? So we going through that. We getting everything we needed. So now as we go through and we find them, asking them questions, hey, do you all travel? What are some of the cool things you do? Where do you go? Do your kids play sports? Whatever. When we go out to present them the solution, now when we present everything in a customizable fashion, which is educating them, the number one point as far as in trying to help minimize these minis is educating them, but in a specific way. The more you know about what they do for a living, what they're going to be using the vehicle for, how often, when was the last time you heard someone really ask someone, oh, so what type of things do you all like to do in your vehicles? Do y'all travel? Do you use it for just any other type of day-to-day recreation? What are some of the ways that you and your family enjoy yours? And so now by me asking this, when I go to present this vehicle, and I'm showing that 60-40 split in that trunk space, on how when they go on those long trips, they'll be able to fit all of their luggage in as opposed to maybe tying some on the back or whatever it is, okay? If their kids do play football, I'm going to talk about how they can fit 2, 3, or 4 pairs of shoulder pads back there in case they have to take some of the other kids in the neighborhood to practice, okay? You want to make sure that you really are asking the questions, tailoring, so when you present, you are educating them on how this specific thing caters to that specific need, okay? So that's the education part. Now really ask yourself and be honest. When was the last time that you really sat with someone and asked them questions, not just about that vehicle, but about them, what they use the vehicle for, where they're going to be going, who all goes with them, what are some of the cool things they like to do. So when you go out to present the vehicle, you are taking a specific thing and you're able to lock it in and tailor it to that specific thing for them. Many times we throw out these generic benefits of a feature that might not mean crap to a person. But if I know you like to camp, if I know you like to travel, if I know you like to go jet skiing or whatever it is you like to do, mudding or whatever. Now when I'm speaking about that, all right, my bad. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, we had a little bit of an issue there. But like I was saying, you want to be able to customize it to fit exactly what they're looking for. So the first one is educate. And if you aren't already doing it, which I'm sure if you all are on here now, you are. But brothers, sisters, my friends, if there's any one thing that I can stress to you, it is that, dealerships stress product knowledge so much, and it is important. But you get that through repetition. But people knowledge, understand the psychology. You could tell someone that a vehicle comes with a rear dash cam and it really doesn't say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Williams, I apologize. I thought that this vehicle did come with a rear dash cam. Unfortunately, this one does not have it, but we do have one that does. If that's something that you're more so interested in, here we go over here. Now, they'll forgive you for that, but if you're rude or you're not asking the right questions or you've wasted their time, they'll never forgive you for that. So make sure that when we're sitting down, don't just keep it about that vehicle. And if you're not quite comfortable with questions to ask and whatnot, shoot me a message and we'll go back and forth as far as me getting over to you. I have info sheets and a list of questions that you can use and ask. So just shoot me a message through YouTube or go on LinkedIn or Facebook. Message me privately and I'll shoot it over to you. Okay, so educate. But you do want to learn certain particular things with the vehicle. Like, hey, just some basic things that you can talk about to make sound big. So educate is number one. Number two is relate. It's kind of what we were just talking about. You're educating them on the features and the benefit of the vehicles and relating it to their situation. Okay? The more relatable the situation is to the individual, the easier it is for them to justify the investment to themselves. So you have to remember that a study once said that the average person hears no 500,000 times by the time they're 8 years old. By the time they're 16, they've heard no 1,000,000 times. And by the time they're 24, they've heard no 1.5 million times. So forth and so on. Now imagine how negative a person really is. And think about ourselves. When you were growing up, no, you can't have this. No, money don't grow on trees. No, you can't go there. No, we can't afford this, blah, blah, blah. And if we have kids, think about how many times we may have said that to our children. And so when we really think about it, it is much easier and it's a lot more likely that we're going to say no to ourselves before we say yes. So the more customizable, the more relatable that we can make this particular product by when we're sitting down with them, asking them the relevant questions, yes, about the vehicle, but learning how to ask questions about them that really come off as you really being genuinely interested in learning about them, very free and not so intense and business-like, but at the same time, your questions are gathering a ton of information. Remember something, good salespeople practice what to say, great ones practice what to ask, okay? So you want to ask the right questions, listen with the intent to understand, the personal questions. What do they use the vehicle for? What type of cool places do they travel? Do the kids play sports? How many kids do they have? What are the kids' ages? What are the kids' names? Oh, your spouse or your partner, what's their name? And some people may be listening to this and say, if a sales rep asked me all of those questions, I wouldn't want to answer them. Well, that's because you never sat in front of myself or maybe some of these other fine people that are on here right now. Because yes, you would. People love to talk about themselves and their children. But the reason why I ask that and I get that information is so I can make it more relatable, okay? So you want to make sure you're educating them by asking the right questions. Going out when you're talking about a feature and benefit, you're presenting it in a manner based on their particular needs at the time of the needs analysis. And do me a favor while we on here, can y'all like this for me? Because I know we got 2 likes. We can get some likes going on. That'll be awesome. That really helps because we can get more of our friends that are around the country that are involved in our business like us. We can get them some help by sharing it. So hit that like button for me, y'all. And I appreciate those that have already. So we want to make sure we educate. Then the next thing we want to do is we want to relate it. So we want to make sure that we relate the product specifically to what it is that they needed it for. Not anyone else, for them. And then the third thing is we want to associate it. So once we're talking about the feature and the benefit, okay, now we were relating the vehicle to them. And now when we bring these folks back inside, okay, the last thing we want to do is we have to learn how to associate. So we educate our customers by listening to what they need, okay, and then making sure that we present them with a solution that is best suited for any particular needs that they may have. Next thing we want to do is we want to relate it. So based on the information that they gave us during our needs analysis and whatnot, we want to relate each and every feature that we possibly can, relate it specifically to them, to their children, to their spouse, to their situation, specifically, almost as if the vehicle is customized for them. And then lastly, we want to associate it because people always want to belong, okay? We want to belong to something. So it's okay by letting the person know, hey, a lot of your other customers really valued or really liked this particular thing. All right, yeah, like I was saying, associating how other people in a similar situation to them have done the same thing. I'll give you an example of what I mean by associating, okay? We know that customers always complain about price. We know that. It's going to happen. Damn, my thing is so blurry. How's that blurry? Is that blurry? See, we get some focus going on. All right. I apologize, y'all. It's Friday, right? So how do we associate? We talked about educating by asking questions and then based on the needs, wants of this person, educating them on how this particular solution we presented, these particular features and benefits of it will improve or whatever the need is or enhance the situation that they got going on. Then we want to make it relatable, where based on their family, their conditions, the situation, we got the features, the benefits, and what it is. Then we want to relate it to exactly how, by using this, will improve or enhance or increase or save. We have to look for those ways. As far as when we're presenting it, we're educating them and relating it to them in a way that is beneficial for them, not for the store, not for anybody else, but for them. And then lastly, associating. So how do we use the association tool? Let's give an example like this. We know people are going to talk about price, how they want it to be lower. We know that. So we have to figure a way how we can bring that issue up early. We can handle it. When we bring it up, we handle it, we control it. When we allow them to bring it up later, we're backpedaling and we're losing. So when we're getting into it, and I know I want to find out where they want to be at as far as payment-wise a month, you can say something like this, like, hey, Mr. Customer, a lot of my other customers told me that when they came in, they had a specific monthly payment in mind that they wanted to be at. But when they drove home, they ended up spending a little bit extra than they expected because the vehicle brought them far more in value and far more in real cost savings than they ever anticipated. So where are you hoping to keep your monthly payment around? Okay? Now, that short little story about how other people told me they had a specific monthly payment in mind, but when they drove home, they ended up spending a little bit extra because the vehicle bought them far more in value and in real cost savings than they ever expected. Now, does this solve them or keep them from bringing up the price issue later? No. But with that little association, later on when they say that the price is more than they wanted to pay, I can always say, hey, listen, you remember earlier when I shared with you how a lot of my other customers felt the exact same way? How when they came in, they had a specific monthly payment in mind, but when they found out that the vehicle bought them far more in value and the real cost savings than they ever expected, they were felt extremely comfortable making a buying decision. And that's what you call feel, felt, found. But I associated it with other people in a similar situation making a decision. And if you think about it, as humans, we do that a lot. If a friend of yours went to go see a movie you haven't seen yet and you wanted to see it, and you say, hey, how was the movie? And they say it sucked. The likelihood of you going to see that movie has just dropped big time. If they say it was great, you probably go see it that night or the next day. Same thing with the restaurant. How much was then you go to it, and it was actually pretty good, okay? So looking at these three things, we want to make sure we educate, we relate, and we associate. Letting people know. I'm trying to plug up my charger. I apologize. Letting people know. Yeah, let them know. They should be happy. I apologize for these dogs. I don't know what's going on. But I'll tell y'all what. I done kept you long enough. Do me a favor. You watch, like this video, share it.